Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Miles Quitmann. Thank you very much for joining our mobile engagement in retail webinar. We've had a great response, and thank you for all for making the effort. We've got attendees from all over the world, so appreciate it. As I mentioned a second ago, my name is Miles Quitmann. I'm the Managing Director of Proxama, and I'm sitting in London here with Graham Tricker, who is our Operations Director. And the intention over the next 25 minutes or so is to do a double act and take you through around, as I say, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, hopefully reasonably fast-paced, our first webinar on this subject. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have. There is an option on the webinar facility to send questions through, and we will be addressing as many as we possibly can towards the end of the event. Okay, let's get going. Let me give you a very quick 0 to 60 about Proxama. Proxama was founded in 2005 by Dr. Neil Garner, and since then the company has grown very fast. Last year in September, August time last year, we listed on London's AIM stock market, and we operate in Europe, across the Atlantic in the US, and we will be also operating in South America over the coming months through a partnership agreement with a major partner. Proxama is a global mobile marketing, loyalty, and mobile wallet company. We work with mobile network operators, banks, retailers, and brands, and their associated agencies. And the core of our business is our TapPoint platform, which helps businesses accelerate commerce by combining that mobile marketing, loyalty, and drive towards payments. And for the purposes of this event today, we want to really focus on our relationship with retailers, brands, and how Proxama connects the physical and digital worlds and helps to bridge the gap between online sales and the high street. Well, I guess the bad news, I think you probably would have had to have been living on another planet not to have picked this up over the last few years. It's been a tough time for retailers, high street retailers, over the last few years. And there's been lots of press popping up concerning this across the globe, not just here in the UK, but certainly in the US and elsewhere. In the UK, we've had a number of companies go into administration. We've had HMV, which has turned itself around in a slightly different guise, the likes of Blockbuster and Republic. And a lot of this is because of the extraordinary competition that is appearing from online retailers. The good news is that consumers still want to conduct business in the physical high street. And I find this a fascinating quote. 90% of shopping was done on the UK high street in 2013. In fact, a lot of e-commerce retailers, those pure play online retailers, are increasingly opening up physical stores on the high street, known as pop-up shops. Alliar Brown is a good example in the UK, the menswear company, solely an e-commerce company that now has three shops on the London high street. But if you want to really truly connect with a customer and create an ongoing relationship, the physical experience is invaluable, but you also need to join that up with an online and mobile presence. So What are the 5 main challenges for retailers today? Well, I think the first one is increased costs to conduct business, and that is across the board. This is rental rates, the cost of employing staff, and the other challenge is that the difficulty of being able to put your prices up because of competition from external factors geographically, but also from online retailers. We think there is a fantastic opportunity to maximize physical stores by deploying the third dimension of the mobile in retail presence. There's also an opportunity, and Graham will talk about this when we talk about real use cases. There is also an opportunity, retail shops close 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and there is an opportunity through mobile technology and capability to keep that retail presence open by deploying solutions that allow retailers to allow m-commerce transactions to be conducted even when the retail store is closed. Increased competition. We mentioned pop-up shops from e-retailers. Changing consumer behaviour. An interesting survey was conducted quite recently. The section of 20-year-olds to 30-year-olds now check their mobile 10 times every 60 minutes. And I think that's a powerful indication of how businesses need to really focus their efforts on engaging and communicating with consumers on their mobile phones. Multi-channel retailing, the next big thing to align both the online and offline experience, but the challenge is how to make this change effective to continue to deliver profitability and growth. And it's not just about technology. It is about capitalizing on the growing volume of information and that data and the value that that brings to the business and also to the consumer. Showrooming has been the bane of high street retailers. Mobile is a fantastic opportunity when deployed properly to turn showrooming into an advantage rather than a threat. And there are also some very high-profile success stories that have managed to join online, mobile, and the physical high street. And these retailers, both here and across the Atlantic, and I'm sure elsewhere in the world, they are getting it right. They're joining up commerce, and they're growing rapidly and competing with the web upstarts, I guess, of the last few years. And they are also understanding the importance of shopping being an experience and an event for the consumer. Interesting quote there from John Lewis, mobile devices overtaking desktop computers and laptops for the first time. This is really connected retail. And connected retail is really all about a two-way flow of information between the retailer and the consumer, linking consumers and devices and data to create a much smarter shopping experience that not only benefits the consumer but also benefits the strategy of the business. So a true multi-channel strategy is joining all of these dots, but it also offers the retailer an opportunity to drive the retail agenda with the consumer, not having to be reactive to some of the new players or relatively new players on the block. And what I mean by that is once consumers are in the retail store, this is the retailer's presence. This is an opportunity to properly engage with them, utilizing the thing that they've got in their hands, their mobile device, to drive sales and to drive loyalty. So getting connected means making use of some of the mobile technology that is available to us today. And smartphones need no introduction, but the capabilities of these phones are just getting better and better and better. And there's a great opportunity now for retailers to have a very close dialogue in store and in the vicinity of a store with a consumer on their mobile phone. This is nirvana for retailers and brands, with the ability to connect using capabilities now that are available across all platforms on mobile phones for push and pull capability and communication. And this is all about contextual information, targeted messages and communication that are also relevant to that particular consumer. It also offers an opportunity to add the wow factor and a real experience within the retail environment. So this is the consumer life cycle, the connected consumer life cycle. We need to think about engaging the consumer close to the retail store, enticing them to be able to gauge with the physical presence. And we're going to come on to real life use cases in a second. This is all about making that consumer an offer or of some value, the enticement, the engagement. And then there's a value exchange. In return for me giving you something free or something of value, a discount, then I'm expecting the consumer to give me information about them. That might be email address, that might be contact information, but more likely it's likely to be preferences on what I'm interested in within that store. The consumer conversation is all about the event, the experiential, the experience within the retail store, offering a wow experience that drives that consumer to purchase and ultimately to conduct repeat visits. This is also all about data exchange. And as we know, big data is incredibly valuable nowadays. The interactions with the consumer are being monitored or should be monitored at the back end. So how does this work in the real world? This is the start of the value exchange, and the example that we've got on the screen in front of us at the moment, there has to be some sort of incentive for the consumer to engage with this particular high street chain. And that engagement might be a number of different ways. This could be the implementation of a web service through push and pull technology, offering a discount or some sort of value exchange. And you can see the circles around the edges pushing the consumer for different use cases. The start of this is the engagement, and then we move on to the experience in store. Over to you, Graham.
Okay, so now we'll talk in a little bit more detail about the various solutions that retailers can deploy. And I guess moving on from the initial consumer engagement, really what we want is for that consumer to start engaging with us. And really it's around this value exchange. And so here you can see that the consumer can start telling us exactly what are they actually interested in, so defining their preferences. Once we've actually got those preferences, we can start targeting relevant contextual information back to that consumer. So they're getting real value from that service. Additionally, we want to get the consumer to actually exchange some personal information with us as well, so whether that be phone number, email, etc. So again, getting them to actually, engage with the service. Now we want them to register. And the way that we do that is we start driving them, some offers or some incentives to actually exchange that information. So now I've told the retailer exactly what I'm interested in. Now we can start targeting specific messages. So you can see a specific example here. So I've told the retailer that I'm interested in fashion, and I'm walking past a fashion store. And you can see here that the retailer has an opportunity to really target that messaging. So here, the new clothing range available in store. And because I've shown that I've got that preference for fashion, I now get VIP access to go into that store. So it's a really valuable experience that I'm getting because I've exchanged that information with the retailer. So now I'm actually moved into the retail environment, and there's a real opportunity for retailers to turn their stores into venues and really provide an excellent experience to the consumer. So there's a few examples, and there's one up here. So, as I come in, there's an opportunity to engage with the retail store and enter into a prize draw for a personalised shopping experience. So, me as a fashion lover, I can really get some value from obviously entering into that prize draw, and if I win, I really value that experience. Some other solutions that retailers could think about. So back in 2010, Nike for the World Cup, they actually deployed solutions in sports stores across the UK where they were sending targeted video content relevant to the World Cup. So again, me as a person interested in sports, going into those sports stores, getting really targeted content that really engages me. Additionally, these solutions can be used to help your retail staff really engage more with consumers as well. So there's a particular example that we're running with Argos at the minute, where retail staff are using these technologies to engage consumers, to link them through to the mobile site of the Argos catalogue. So again, it's really moving from traditional solutions around catalogue retailing and so forth, and how do we move that into the digital space? So now I'm progressing through the retail journey, and I've actually entered a particular area of products, or it could be a brand concession. So really, there's opportunities for brands now to really have a direct conversation with consumers within that retail space. So I can start engaging with these solutions and really getting targeted content really of interest for the actual products that I'm looking at. Additionally to that, there's real opportunities for the retailers to be upselling as well. So could be looking at addressing this particular example. Have you thought about this scarf that could go with it? So there's a real opportunity to influence the consumer journey and their purchasing behaviours. So really to move on to showrooming, and then retailers really need to embrace showrooming and not be afraid of it. And there are real opportunities around mobile technology to really take advantage of showrooming. So when we look at higher value products, consumers don't just go into a retail store and just purchase these products. They go through the research to actually compare various different products. Is this the one I want, and so forth. So there's now real opportunities to bring that whole e-commerce experience, where online you're going through reviews, comparing products, price comparisons, to bring that into the retail environment. So we can bring exactly those same services into retail. But the additional benefit here is that you're obviously able to see the product in real life, touch it, feel it, and so forth. In addition to that, there's real opportunities to use this technology to move beyond that into queue busting, and again, bring more of that e-commerce type experience into retail, and actually make these retail environments more of a showroom. So again, if I can actually tap the product, add that to the basket, go through to purchase, put in my delivery details, there's no need for me to queue up at the point of sale to make that purchase, and it just streamlines that whole experience. And really now I just want to talk about how everything we've just sort of talked about joins up, and maybe bring in additional elements. So you can see on here the fact we've got a bus stop with a poster panel in. there's real opportunities for retailers to engage on the high street, but beyond the retail store. So they can start using these traditional media channels to engage the consumer on mobile. So why not put offers, incentives and so forth that's actually driving the consumer to that retail store? Then obviously, as we've discussed, we can then start contextually engaging the consumer as they approach the retail store, taking them on that experience as they move into retail, really taking them into that detailed product information, and then obviously moving them onto purchase and then through into loyalty. And really, this is the nirvana for the retailers. Really, what retailers want are loyal consumers. And I think really everything we've spoken about up until this point is really the initial phases of gaining that loyal consumer. But in addition to that, we can really start using the mobile technology to bring on board existing loyalty schemes as well. Whether they be traditional paper-based stamp cards, we can easily move those onto mobile. But in addition, you can also start moving on traditional card-based points cards, move those onto the mobile platform, start integrating the mobile into basket analysis so you can provide targeted offers based on the consumer's purchases. But obviously, we don't want to replicate the existing loyalty ecosystem that's already out there. So we need to embrace that, and we need to integrate those existing platforms onto the mobile. And that can be achieved by integrating those into a mobile platform.
Okay, thank you, Graham, very much. We're now on to our last few slides, but analytics is obviously, we talked about it earlier, a key part of the benefit of engaging with consumers on mobile. And the world is now all about big data and the value of the enormous amount of data that is being analysed and picked up throughout the various parts of the market. And questions like, you know, what offers do consumers consider valuable? Tracking which vouchers are collected. What are their spending habits? You know, analytics on vouchers redeemed and how that relates to a purchase. Are they brand loyal? Track the frequency of loyalty points being distributed and added. How is outdoor media footfall driving sales and interactions into the store? And what engages their interest? Let's track click-throughs on brand engagement. All of this is available by connecting the physical and digital. So mobile engagement in retail is here today. A lot of the stuff we've been talking about over the last 25, 30 minutes or so is business that Proxama has been conducting over the years. In fact, in total, over the last 5 years, we've conducted around 600 mobile proximity marketing solutions. And you can see some of the brands that we've been engaged with. With the advent of Apple's Beacon technology, it really kind of fills the gap in mobile engagement and offers retailers and brands a fantastic opportunity to embrace mobile proximity marketing as it is here now and has come of age properly. Connecting the physical and digital world really adds another dimension for retailers and brands, and I think you'll find that consumers are expecting this type of thing. Before I open up the floor to questions, I think we've had a number of questions that have come through. I just want to throw up a proposition or a solution just to explain Proxama solution, which is available now, utilising our TapPoint platform. This solution in retail is rapidly deployable. We have a white label solution that can be customised depending on the brand we are working with. a phased approach to the deployment of many of the solutions that we've been talking about today. We understand that big businesses need to deploy these things by phases. And also we can customize many of the experience that might be relevant to you as a retailer. We have a lot of experience in doing this. Training and support, and as we talked about a second ago, the analysis of the solution that's provided. So I guess a call to action before we ask for or read out some of these questions. If you would like to engage with us, please contact us and we'll explain how we can start working with you to deploy some of these solutions. Okay, we're just going to check what questions we have. I know we've had a few through here. Hang on a second. Okay, here is one. Talked about push and pull technologies. Can you please elaborate? And I think I can elaborate a little bit. Graham might want to elaborate a little bit more. I think there's been a lot of press about the fact that, does Bluetooth Low Energy beacon technology replace NFC? It certainly does not. NFC, in the way that we have been showcasing today over the last 25 minutes, is all about pull, the ability for mobile users to choose to engage with a piece of material. That might be a poster, it might be a Guinness beer font. You may know that we have deployed 80,000 Guinness beer fonts with NFC technology in the heart. NFC is also being utilized for mobile contactless payments, although none of that is related to what we've been talking today. Beacons is very much a push technology, and Beacons needs an app to work on the phone, which is why you need the likes of NFC and QR codes and various other methods to engage with a consumer to get an app on the phone in the first place. Graham, I don't know if you wanted to elaborate or... No, that's it? No. Okay. Okay, I think we've... Another question, what's the lead time to launch a pilot? We need to have... Thank you for asking that question, but we need to have a discussion about what potentially the scope of this would be, but if it's along the lines of what I have on the screen at the moment, the lead time could be as low as 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
So we've got a question not directly relevant to the webinar today, but who are you guys showcasing with at Mobile World Conference this year in Barcelona?
Mobile World Congress.
Mobile World Congress even,
yeah. That is a good question. We are showcasing with, we are on the MasterCard stand. We are also partnering with Valid, who is a partner of ours in South America. They've got a major stand right in the middle of the event. We're also showcasing in the Connected City area of GSMA, and we're also working with Trustonic as well. We don't have our own stand. We have a meeting room, in fact. We'll be showcasing some of our capabilities, but we are on various partner stands.
We've just got a question for you. Will this document be available to download?
Lots of nodding, so yes, it will be. Okay, thank you all very much for your time. I can't believe it. We've kept to the time scales. We've been talking for about 35 minutes. Thank you very much for joining, and we look forward to speaking to you in the future. Thanks very much and goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.